Yo, what up guys, OPTCG here, back at it again with a deck profile video. So today we have the new Black Monkey D. Luffy. It came out yesterday. It's a pretty neat deck, it can do some fun stuff. It's good against Black and against Perona, because this deck increases the cost, while Black usually decreases it. But yeah, Don 1, so you need one Donut in your leader. All of your characters gain +1 cost. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, this leader gains 1000 power. So yeah, in your turn, if you have a 7 cost, you add 1 don on this, becomes an 8, your leader becomes a 7k, so you can swing 7, and in your opponent's turn, it's basically just a 6k mini Whitebeard. It doesn't stack, so if you have more 8 cost, you will not gain boost for each 8 cost, only once. So that's kind of sad. It would be pretty cool if it got more boosts. But yeah, new leader. Second, Black Luffy, different playstyle, so let's go right to the side. Alright, it's a pretty weird deck list if I say so myself. For our 1 cost, we play 4 times Tsuru. Tsuru is here for the 2k counter, obviously, but also if you need to KO stuff, we will still reduce stuff. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during his turn. So if you need to KO stuff, because we do play some KO cards, you can just do this. But you want to use it for the 2k counter, of course. Then for other 1 costs, we go for the new 1 cost Herades. We play 4 times. It's a pretty neat card. It's a 2k counter, but also, let me get it. Activate main, you may rest this character up to one of your black straw hat type characters gains +2 cost until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. So this deck needs an 8 cost in the field to use any of the effects, and still, yeah, it's just hand cycling. Pretty neat cards, you need to rest it, so they need to attack into this, so it's kind of like a pseudo blocker. Good cards to counter. Then for our 3 costs, we play 4 times 3 cost Nami. So this Nami is actually really nice and good. It's a 3 cost 2k, so kind of on the low side. 1000 counter, blocker. On play, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand and a character with a cost of 8 or more, draw 1 card. So just a blocker that allows you to draw. And yeah, not really a lot to talk about, just a blocker. Then for other 3 costs, we play 3 times Usopp. So Usopp is basically our way of removing stuff, because Don 1, when attacking, if you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. It's a 3 cost 4k, so it's kind of on the weak side, but still this is your main way to KO stuff if you can reduce anything. And we play a card that will protect this card, obviously, because it's kind of weak. Then for our 4 costs, we play 2 times Kuzan, yeah, 4 cost 5k. On play, draw a card, and when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 cost during this turn. Yeah, it replaces itself, and it just puts a lot of pressure on board, because it will -4. And you can make it a 5 with your leader, so it's kind of harder for other decks to remove if they play against Perona or Black. Then for other 4 costs, only play 2 times Borsellino, safest blocker in the entire game. Opponent's turn, this character gains 1000 power and cannot be KO'd by effect. So yeah. Perona cannot rest it, because once again it becomes a 5k, 5 cost in your turn, so really nice. This deck can really, yeah, screw with Perona. Then for our 5 costs, we play 4 times Sabo. So Sabo is really good in this deck, because it just gets an increased cost, it becomes a 6 cost, and still, on play, all of your cards are protected by KO effects, and you draw 2 cards, trash 2 cards, so this will protect the Usopp for removal, KO removal, of course. And yeah, that's just your generic best blocker in the entire game. Every black deck abuses this. Then for other 5 costs, we play 4 times 5 cost Sanji. So I actually really like this card, and I will not be surprised if this is played in the future. On play, if you have a character with a cost of 6 or more, wait, let me read, is this a 6? Yeah. On play, if you have a character with a cost of 6 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So really good card. It's really easy to get a 6, like if you have 1 Don, you're at 6 Dons. You attach one to your leader, you play this, and KO a 5 cost. Really good, and still a 5 cost 6k attacker. Then for our 6 costs, we play 4 times Nico Robin. So Nico Robin is also really good. It's also your main way of reducing stuff, because it's a on play when attacking. If you have a character with a cost of 8 or more, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 5 cost during this turn. Giving something minus 5 is really insane, specifically Ice Age on a body. It's a hard body to play out, but still 6 cost 7k. You can make it a 7 cost if you have your leader effect. And still, it's pretty hard to remove, and you can just swing every time for 7 for freeze. Get 2 cards out of hand and then give something minus 5. Then we go into the 8 costs. We play a lot of 8 costs. We only play 2 times Sabo. Yeah, it's an 8 cost, so of course your leader and your characters will be live from these cards if you have them on the field. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to 1 of your opponent's cards with a cost of 5 or less, and up to 1 with a cost of 3 or less. So like I said, you play some reducer so you can KO multiple cards, and you can increase it with your leader, make it a 9 cost, so it's really hard to remove or to get arrested by Perona or other stuff, or even with Katakuri, because it's a 9 cost, or with the Mihawk, they cannot bottom deck it, because you can just increase their stuff. Then for other 8 costs, we play 2 times Monkey D. Luffy, so this is basically just a tech card, it's Spice, it's a 8 cost 10k rusher. Usually you will not expect rushers in black, so this is just a surprise card. You play this, you rush. If you have a character with 10 or more, this character gains rush. So it has a pretty high, how do you call it? Yeah, you need a 10 cost on field. It's really easy to deal with because your leader gives it 1, and with other card that gives another 1, so it becomes a 10 cost 10k rusher. Nobody expects it, and sometimes you really need that rush in black. Like, how many times did you have a game if you were Lucci or another deck like Moria, and you would win the game if you had a rusher in your deck? Well, here we go. Then for our last 8 costs, to play 3 times Isho. Yeah, Isho is basically the same reason as the 8 cost. Your abilities are live, and still, Don 1, your turn, all of your opponent's characters get minus 3 cost. Talking is hard, I'm sorry guys. On play, if your opponent has 6 or more cards in their hand, they trash 2 cards, or you choose 2 cards from their hand, and they trash it. So it's just reduce hand size. If you swing a lot, they get big hand size. You play this, you trash 2 cards from your opponent, really good. Good against NL, Black Yellow Luffy, etc, etc. Hope you trash the Morias. May the trashing be in your favor. Then we go to the events. We play a lot of events. We play 2 times 6 King Pistol. We do play a lot of non-counters, or yeah, cards with not a lot of counters. We are a 6k leader in your opponent's turn, so that is kinda a plus point. Yeah, you may trash 1 card from your hand up to one of your leader or characters gains serious amount during this turn. And then trigger, draw 1 card, and then KO a character with a cost of 1 or less. Never use a trigger, just use it for counter power. For our 1 cost, we play 2 times Ice Age. Like I said, we do still reduce stuff. For 1 Dawn, you can just give one of your opponent's characters minus 5 cost during this turn. Trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's characters cost of 3 or less. Just used for the main effect. You can use a trigger to KO blockers if they attack to your life. Then for our new additions, or they're all new cards, but yeah. We play 4 times I Have My Crew. Great artwork. If you went to Marineford Arc or you are there, you will definitely appreciate this art. I Have My Crew. It's a 1 cost main, draw 1 card. Then if you have a character, main, draw 1 card. Then up to one of your characters gains plus 3 cost until the end of your opponent's next turn. So like I said, getting a 10 cost on the field is pretty easy. Just play this, or leader effect in another card I will have later. Trigger is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. Really good card, definitely play 4 of it. And then we finally have a 1000 Sunny, which isn't terrible. We play 4 times the stage from the new starter deck, ST14. Yeah, this in your leader ability makes all your characters plus 2, so they're all 10k, your high ends. It's a 1 cost. All of your black Straw Hat type characters gain a plus 1 cost. Sadly, it is still locked into your Straw Hat, so you need to give your Straw Hats up till 10 to get your leader effect, or I mean to get the Rush Luffy effect. But still, this with the leader on the Herades, you can definitely get your character up to 10, and then you have a Rush Luffy. You can also just use Stun Luffy and make Luffy a 10 cost. But yeah, on play, if your leader has the Straw Hat type, draw 1 card. No triggers, sadly, they will be broken. We know what happens with trigger cards or stages. But yeah, that's it for this list. It's still in a pretty unexplored deck. It just came out, didn't do really that well in Japan. It did maybe top some locals or something, but it's gonna be hard here. Well, we have a lot of Perona players, so maybe you will just play against Peronas. But yeah, it's a fun deck, nothing too special. It's a funny mechanic, because usually black reduces stuff, but this increases to gain ability, so it makes harder for Perona, for black, and for some other decks that can only KO like cost character as well. They have stuff that ours isn't black, so against Yamato you can save your cards. Against Gedatsu you can save them. But yeah, fun deck, nothing much to talk about. I played it a little bit, so I don't really know all too much. I just made this deck list. It seems pretty solid though. But yeah, that's for this video. If you guys like the video, give it a like. If you dislike, a dislike. If you want to see more content, subscribe. And I will see you guys in OPO 8 format, because Marco Day 1 profile definitely coming up. Alright, see ya. Peace.